Welcome everyone to my channel. This is my first channel that I am using English to introduce the syllabus of Stpm, that is the subject Mathematics T semester 3. And this is the video special for the science stream student because Math T is the compulsory subject, right? And also this video only will introduce about the syllabus of Math T semester 3 only. So for those just finished the Sem 2 examination, you may more focusing on Sem 3, you can watch this video to make your preparation before you enter the Sem 3 section. And also if you are the Sem 1 student, or you are now in Stpm student, also you can listen this video for your preparation in your Sem 3 future. Okay, before I start the syllabus, I introduce myself first. I am the Stpm 2020 candidates. I take bio package and Math T in Stpm I get B+, so my Math T is not expert as like the A student. So in this video I just want to help the juniors for you to make your preparation before you enter Sem 3 only. So if the video, my English is not good, and also the content maybe have something error, I say sorry here first. And all the syllabus is based on the MPM Sukatan. So if you want to refer more detail, you can refer to the MPM Sukatan. And okay. First of all, I want to say that the Math T Sem 3, the theme we have to learn is statistics. Okay, statistic term. This term I think all of you are familiar with it, right? Because in Stpm Mathematics and MS you have learned this chapter, right? Mathematics also have learned, MS also have learned. But in Stpm we also have learned this statistic, but it's not in one chapter but in 6 chapters. That is chapter 1 data description, chapter 2 probability, chapter 3 probability distribution, chapter 4 sampling and estimation, chapter 5 hypothesis testing, and last chapter 6 chi-square test. You may have many confused and many questions, except chapter 14 and chapter 15, chapter 2 and chapter 3 you are familiar with it. Others chapter you are not, you don't know who are them. You don't know, you have many confused what are the data description. Before I enter the syllabus one by one, I want to say that the first 3 chapters are the chapter and the contents you have already learned in Stpm, but we have add new things lah, but not too much. But in chapter 4, 5 and 6, last 3 chapters are the chapter that you have never learned in Stpm. So last 3 chapters maybe you have to make more attention for it. And some school teacher will begin from chapter 4. Chapter 1, 2, 3 they don't start first. They directly start from chapter 4, 5, 6. Then after finish, then they repeat from chapter 1 to 3. This is the based on the school teacher. Okay, now let's we discuss the syllabus one by one chapter. This chapter maybe it looks seem like new to you, but it's not, definitely not, because you have already learned mostly content in Stpm level. Why? Let me introduce one by one. The first subtopic you have to learn is data representation. This subtopic, maybe if you look the definition, if your English is good, maybe not English is good, you know the English term. Data representation is mean what? It means how do you represent your data? Because in statistics, you know that the data are very complicated if you list all the data, and it is difficult to you to modify your data and conclude your data. For example, in your class that let's say has 40 students, and you want to know that every student, you want to know that the marks for mathematics subject. And there are 40 students. Each student have get different marks. So they are total have 40 different data. Maybe some get 40 marks, some get 33, some get 80, some get 75, some get 55, some get 65, and so on until 40, until they are n equal to 40. This is very complicated, right? So how do you want to represent this data to more easier to look like? So we have in Stpm, we have 3 methods to use. That is, one is stem-leaf diagram, second is histogram, and third one is cumulative frequency curve, or we can know as OGIF. But if you look these 3 methods, histogram and cumulative frequency curve are familiar to you, right? Because in SPM you have SPM mathematics, you have learned how to plot it, how to draw these 2 kind of graph. So these 2 kind of graph I will don't talk detail, but because they are just same in what SPM you have learned only. Okay, I need to talk detail about the stem-leaf diagram. Stem-leaf diagram is new to you, but don't worry, it is just simple. It is not same graph, but it is simple diagram only. It look like that. Just like that. And you will see there are many data. There are 4, 0, 1, 3, 3, 5, 6, 7, 5, 1, 2, 5, 5, 8, 9, like that. And there are many rows. Based on the question given, I just give 2 rows only, for example, and then at the bottom of the diagram you will see this key 4/1 means 41. This means what? This is the definition of the stem-leaf diagram. This means that if 4/1 means it is 41. So if 4/3 equal to 43. Okay, this is the definition. You must take the definition. Or the question will have the definition. It does not mean that definitely 41. It may be 4.1. It may be 410. Maybe like that. There are many kind of questions, but normally we use 41 lah, but based on the question given. In examination, normally it will tell you to plot this diagram. It will give you many type of data. The data, like I think that there are maybe have 20 different data, and you need to use the data to plot the stem-leaf diagram, and you must include the definition of this. If you don't write this definition, you will lose mark. Okay. So this is the first subtopic you have to learn. Okay, just like that only. Okay, now we look further for second subtopic. It is the measure of central tendency. I don't like this, you may be not familiar to it. What is this? But it is just another name only. This is just another name for mode, median, and mean only. There is no new things to you. Just it change the name only. So measure of central tendency, it include mode, median, and mean. And this I already say SPA you have learned. It has formula, right? Okay, formula you also learn in SPM, so I don't want to talk too much of this. Also, the third subtopic is measure of dispersion. It also another name include range, interquartile range, variance, and standard deviation. Also, these topics you have already learned in SPM. Also, the formula you have learned in SPM are also the same. There is no new formula to you. Okay, but I want to gentle development is in SPM, the exam in our exam have give the formula for, I think, median he has give, mean it has give, and variance have give the formula in your exam, right, in SPM. But in Stpm, sorry, no formula were given at all. In Stpm Sem 3, MACD only will give you 3 formula. Only will give you 3 formula. What formula are they? The first formula is binomial distribution formula. Second formula is Poisson distribution. And the third formula is chi-square test. Only these 3 formula only. These 2 formula is you have learned in chapter 3, and this formula is learned in chapter 6. So in chapter 1, 2, and 4, 5, you have no formula were given at all. So you have to memorize it. Because this formula if you have formula give it is too easy to you. In Stpm, you have to challenge you. So in chapter 1, normally the first question, if it asks, you calculate the mean or variance or any median or any interquartile range. If you don't memorize the formula, then it is you will lose mark. Rugi lah. Kerana maka ini adalah percuma kepada kamu. Tapi awak tak mau. Kerana apa yang awak buat, kerana awak tidak hafal formula. Ini yang saya nak ingatkan kepada kamu. So the conclusion is you have to you have to memorize all the formula about these 2 subtopic. You have to memorize it. Okay, this is the gentle reminder to you all. Okay, now we have. So about second and third subtopic is easier to give. Just the difficult things, maybe you have to memorize the formula. Not like SPM, you have the formula given in examination. Okay. The fourth subtopic is the shape of the distribution. Okay. You have known that what is the distribution shape. If you learn in SPS syllabus, the probability distribution, the standard normal distribution is symmetrical, right? Like this, right? This is the shape of the distribution, and we have 3 types. We have 3 type shape of distribution. This is the first type. This we call as symmetrical. Symmetrical means what? The left hand side and right hand side is all the same. It's same. The area of the left hand side and the right hand side are the same. And the second shape of distribution we call as positively skewed distribution. It looks like that. Positively skewed. It looks like that. Why we call it positively skewed? Because it's skewed to the right. If you see that the right hand side, the tail for the right hand side is very long. And another is negative skew distribution. It look the balik from the reverse distribution from the positively skewed. It look like that. Look like that. The left hand side is very long. The tail of the left hand side is very long. This is the 3 type of distribution, and in exam you have to learn that there are the formula. One formula you can to determine the shape of the distribution. You can determine the shape of the distribution from that. And this shape of distribution, we can use another diagram to determine the distribution, the shape of the distribution. That is the box and whisker plot. Box and whisker plot look like that. Look like this. Look like this. If the exam will need, sometimes the exam will need you to draw the box and whisker block. Draw not sketch. You need to differentiate between draw and sketch. Also in the first topic also, maybe the question will need you to draw the standard diagram, histogram, and also cumulative frequency curve. It tells you to draw, not sketch. It means that it will give the MPM will give you graph paper. You need to draw that. Macam PSM2 lah. Tapi the graph in tapi the graph is not complicated like PSM2. It is just simple graph. Later your teacher will teach you. And this is the example of box and whisker plot. And you have to know that definition of this line, and also the definition of this line and this line and this line. If you already know the information of this line, then you will know how to draw this box and whisker plot. It's easy only, not too hard to do. Okay, so in conclusion, chapter 1 are not too difficult for you because mostly we have already learned in SPM level. Just only two things that is new to you, that is the stand and leaf diagram and also shape F distribution only. Because others you have already learned in SPM level. So this is the all about of chapter 1. Next is chapter 2. Chapter 2 is probability. I think this chapter is mostly familiar to you all. Because this chapter, I think SPM, mathematics, you have learned, and maths you have also learned. So this chapter, I can say that there is no new things to you. It has only 2 subtopics. The first subtopic is permutation and combination. This one, I think SPM level, if already have understand only. And the second subtopic is probability. You have to calculate the probability. Only the new things is you have to know that the definition of these 4 type of definition: complementary event, exhaustive event, mutually exclusive event, and independent event. You have to know that. What is complementary event, exhaustive event, mutually exclusive event, and also independent event? Because in exam, it will ask you to prove that probability A and probability B are exhaustive event, or mutually exclusive event, or independent event. Or the question will ask you, is the probability A and probability B are the complementary event? You have to prove that. So this is the new things. And another new thing is conditional probability. Conditional probability, we will write like that: probability given that probability B. This is not in probability, we not call dash, but we call that given that. We known as given that. This means is the condition. Conditional is what? It has the requirement. If you want to find probability A, but it has the question already give you the condition of probability B, like in badminton match. Maybe the question already give you the probability that Ali win the first match is Ali win the first match is 0.6. He want you to find the probability that each second match is 1. Not second match. Maybe you want you find the if the Ali win the badminton match, whole match, even the badminton competition, what you maybe you want to find. So the question already give you the first match. The probability of the first match is 0.6. So if you want to find the probability totally win the badminton competition, you must write like that. A is the probability Ali win badminton given that it win the first match is 0.6, like that. Something question like that. So this question you have to more confirm from that. Okay, and this chapter actually there is no new things to you. But the new thing just this four definition and this conditional probability only. Because but I want to inform that don't see that this chapter does not have any new things to you, but the level of the question is very quite tricky and more complicated than the SPM level. This is I need to inform you. It will not came out the question macam SPM. It will give out macam university. I can say that because it is not say difficult, but it more complicated because the question almost are application question. Application question means there are many words to do, and you have to based on this information, based on the word and information, you have to list out all the information that given in the word. So if you misunderstanding the question or the information, then you will totally get wrong answer, and the form and all the answer you will get totally wrong. So in this chapter, I have just one conclusion. You have to do more complicated question, not easier question. Because easier question you may do it well, but you have to do the more complicated question to improve you. If you refer partial question, there are many types of application question that are more challenging to you. You can do it, and also you can refer to the any books of you. Okay, so this is the chapter 2 only. Okay, chapter 3 is the chapter probability distribution. This chapter I also say that is familiar to you also, right? But in this chapter, there are three new subtopic you have to know. That is discrete random variable, continuous random variable, and also Poisson distribution. These three subtopics are new to you. You have never learned in SPM. Okay. Just to say that this, and if you see that the first and second subtopic are almost you learn are the same. Just the difference between discrete and continuous only. So you have to differentiate between discrete and continuous. Okay. Discrete random variable is the integer random variable. We can say that because we can say the n equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and so on until maximum infinity. But all other in the integer form. This means that it is the whole number. It cannot be fraction number or any exponential number or any decimal place. Okay, this is the discrete random variable. And continuous random variable, it is the rational number. It can any number. 1.1, 1.25 over 2, 3.4, 3.5 also can. All the random variable also can. It is the continuous random variable. So in exam, you have to differentiate between discrete and continuous first before you proceed to answer the following question. Because these two random variable, all of the formula are different. You use the formula are totally different, and the concept are totally different. So if the question will not inform you, this is the discrete random variable, it will not directly inform you. You have to modify. You have to modify from the question whether it's discrete or continuous. The question will not directly tell you it is the discrete or it is the continuous. So this is the before subtopic, you have to know that. Okay, discrete random variable, you have to learn probability distribution function and the distribution function, or another word is probability density function, are same, and another is cumulative distribution function. And you have also will learn the mean, how calculate the mean and variance. Okay. Okay, and the second topic, you also will learn probability density function PDF and cumulative distribution CDF in cumulative distribution function and mean and variance. Okay, how the question look like? The question daily look like that. It will look like the piecewise function x 1 over 2x, and this will x equal to 0, 1 and 2. This will be equal to 5 and 6 like that. And if the question, this is the for discrete one. Why discrete? Because the x is equal to integer. Okay, so this is, you can confirm that this is the discrete vector variable. So you have to use the discrete vector variable. Normally, the first question will tell you to find the probability s equal to 1, probability s equal to 1, or probability s more than equal to 2 like that. And you have to modify from the piecewise function. Also, there has the mean and variance. You have to have its formula, have their formula. You have to memorize, and you can give and the values you have to take from the piecewise function. This is the direct question, or the example direct question. The second example is the application question. Application question is the, it will macam application lah. It will give you the situation and the information. Then you have to answer the question. Normally, the first question is round 2 to find the probability distribution function, and the second and third question normally you have to find the mean and variance like that. Normally, will like that. So, and the this mean and variance have its formula. You have to memorize it, and the examination will not give you. Okay, this is the discrete, and also the same pattern of question will come out in continuous, but just it is the continuous method variable. It will also give the piecewise function if question direct. Then it will give you 2 power of x squared plus 5x like this. But the variable is give you x more than 0, less than 2, and this will give you more than 2, less than 5 like that. It will give you like that. So this means what? This is the continuous, not discrete. Because there is the interval between x. It may be 0.1, 0.2, or 1 point something like that. So this is the continuous. And the second type of question, it will come out with application question also. And maybe it will want you to find the PDF, want to find you the cumulative distribution function. It has its formula and it has its step. Then later your teacher will teach you, and it also want you to calculate the mean and variance. Okay, just a gentle warning to you, gentle reminder. In this continuous vector variable, you need to use SEM2 syllabus. What is it? You have to use integration. Oh my god, alamak, I think now your heart is oh my god, I already give up SEM2. Oh jeez, genius. Oh, don't worry, because this integration are just simple integration only. It will like that. Want to you integrate this function 1 over 2x, x squared, 5x, 1 over x like this. This is the, you can directly integrate it. It will not come out with integration like SEM2 more complicated. Once you use substitution, partial fraction, or integration by part, no need. Just a gentle directly integration only. But just a matter that you have to know that. Don't think that all SEM2 already gone. All the SEM2 info and knowledge already all already forget already. No, you have to know integration. One only. So this is the good reminder to you before you enter this chapter. So in this chapter, if you see why got integration, don't worry, don't need worry. It is normal. Not out of syllabus. You don't need to think out of syllabus. out of syllabus. No. It is in the syllabus. The syllabus is correct and is unique. I can say that the syllabus is correct, not wrong. And it is not out of syllabus. Don't worry about it. And don't worry about the integration because the integration is simple integration only. Okay. This is the first two subtopic you have to learn. Okay. Now we have to go to the last three subtopic. There is binomial distribution, Poisson distribution, and also normal distribution. For binomial distribution and normal distribution, you have already learned in SPM. Just same only. Binomial distribution, the formula probability to find the binomial distribution already give you in formula, so you don't need to memorize, but you have to memorize. It's better for you lah. And also normal distribution also will ask the same in SPM, because normal distribution you can use test that score, right? That score you can change it from the standard normal distribution like this, right? X minus mu divide by standard deviation, you will change to the normal distribution to the standard normal. Then you can use the probability distribution table to find the probability, right? But I need to inform that the probability distribution in Stpm are different from SPM. Gentlemen, I already forget the pattern, but I know that the probability distribution table in Stpm are different from in SPM. Okay, this is the gentle reminder. And the probability distribution table, you don't need to memorize it because the exam MPM will give you the probability distribution table, so you don't need to worry it. Okay. So I will need to focus about the Poisson distribution. Poisson distribution is new to you, but not difficult at all, because at all you. And Poisson distribution is a distribution. It is the random variable. If you see the situation is only occur in random variable, then it is the Poisson distribution. If it is not, it may be binomial or normal distribution. Just because you need to differentiate these three types of distribution. In question, mostly will give you application question. The first question normally will want you to write out the distribution. No, if in binomial distribution it look like that, as binomial approximate binomial to n and p, and for Poisson distribution is as normal approximate Poisson to lambda. For normal is as normal approximate normal to mu and variance, and also variance, like that. Normally the first question, if the distribution question, normally it will want you to please write down the distribution. So the question will not tell you what is the distribution is it. It will not tell you it's binomial, it's Poisson or normal. So you need to differentiate it. So binomial distribution, it will have the n in sample size and also probability to success p. Poisson distribution is only will occur in random variable. If you look the question is random variable, then it is the Poisson distribution. Normal distribution normally is the continuous random variable, and the sample size is normally very large. Okay, this is the three kind of distribution you have to know. And if you see Poisson distribution, you see what is this lambda. You don't need to worry because your teacher will give you it has the value for it. And also binomial Poisson and normal, you have to know the mean and variance. How to calculate the mean, how to calculate the variance, you have to know it. Okay. This is the about the distribution topic, distribution function topic, and the last for the reminder is normal distribution. You will learn about the binomial approximate to normal. This means that you can change binomial distribution to normal distribution when it is conform, or the requirement is conform the requirement. There is a requirement if you want to change binomial or to normal. There is no such thing that you can simply change binomial to normal. It has the requirement. What requirement is that? You will learn about it. You will learn. So this is just the simple, not simple, but maybe this chapter is quite long. It is the longest chapter in Semester 3, but not too difficult to you lah. Just there are many formula you have to memorize in first and second subtopic, and if you learn from start learning, maybe you have confused between discrete and continuous. It is normal one, so you have to better you take note lah. You take note, make a note, differentiate between discrete and continuous, and also these three type of distribution. Okay, so all about is in the probability distribution chapter 3. So we proceed to chapter 4. Chapter 4, I need to inform and that begin this chapter. This chapter, all the content are new to you. I can say like this. You never learn this knowledge in SPM level. So begin this chapter, you have to make more attention in your class when your teacher teach. Okay, this chapter is learn about sampling and estimation. You have to know what is sampling, what is estimation. Actually, these two is different topic, but in Stpm it combined in one topic. So just like that. Okay, the first subtopic is sampling. Sampling is what you have to know, and sampling is present continuous, and another for its noun is sample. What is the sample? Sample is the group taken from the population. It can from the population. Population is what? Population, we can say that it is the huge group, very large group for large group in the it is the large group, very large group. For example, we can say that number of student in SMK SSSS. Maybe this population has more than 2,000 students. Wow. If you are the researchers, you want to if you want to collect the data of this school, is it easier to make 2,000 people? If you want to one by one collect the data 2,000 among these 2,000 people, very difficult, right? And it want to take more time to make for your researchers, right? So in statistics, we have one technique that is sampling. This means that we can take the group randomly from this population. Maybe we take 500, maybe we take 200, maybe we take 100, like that. Like that. Based on the research, based on the researcher need. So how many samples you need to take? There is no rules to take, no rules to say it, but just based on the situation. Okay, so this is the sampling technique. So maybe you can get sample 1 is 500, sample 2 is 200, sample 3 is 400, like that. have many kind of sample because the sample is randomly take from the population. It can many type. One population can thousand and thousand type of sample, have many type. Okay, this is the definition you have to know. And another definition you have to know is parameter and statistic. What is this? Before I proceed to this, think before in the Stpm or now or even now, why mean? Why mean has two symbol? One symbol is bar S, one symbol is mu, and also variance. Variance also has two symbols. One is S squared and one is sigma squared. Why? Do you know that? In chapter 1, you calculate the mean is in the symbol bar S, and in chapter 1, you calculate the variance is S squared. But in chapter 3, probability distribution, you see that the mean is mu and the variance is sigma squared. Already not use bar S. Why? Why like that? What is this symbol mean for? Why we want to differentiate this symbol? Because these symbols are very important in this chapter. Begin this chapter. Because in chapter 4 and 5, you need to differentiate these two symbols very well. If you don't differentiate this symbol very well, this chapter 4 and 5, you totally will get, I can say that you totally will get 0 marks. Because you already misunderstanding these two symbols. You have to know. Okay, so you can pause it and you can find the information. Okay, so I give the answer. It is based on the parameter and statistic. Parameter is based on the population. I can say that it's found come for population, and statistic is the sample. So bar S is the sample mean. Mu is the population mean. And variance is the S squared is the sample variance, and sigma squared is the population variance. What is mean by sample mean? What is mean by population mean? This mean that population, I already say, population is very large. It is a very large community, right? Have many people, right? Have many data, right? So we can calculate the population mean. This is the population mean. Mean from the population we know as population mean. But if we do the sampling technique, we can take out maybe the population is 5,000. Then we take out one sample is only 1,000 sample. Then the mean from this sample is known as sample mean. So if we want to calculate the mean of the sample, we have to use bar S, but better than mean. Same concept apply in variance. If we want to find the variance of the sample, then we have to use S squared for the symbol, not variance, not sigma squared. Sigma squared is for the population one. So this you have to know. This you have to know it. If you differentiate, don't know how to differentiate, automatically in chapter 4 and 5 you will not get. You will misunderstand. You will totally misunderstanding the question. But okay, so this is the definition. Okay, but not only mean and variance, we has also size, and also one new thing is called proportion. Size for population is big, capital N. For sample is small n, and proportion for population is P. For sample is P cap. We use P cap. Okay. This is another two definition, parameter and statistic. Capital N is population, small n is for sample. Okay, you have to know that. And proportion is the new terms that you have to learn in later in chapter 4 subtopic of the sampling. Okay. Okay, this is the definition list you have to know before you enter the chapter 4, this chapter. Okay, now we go to the second subtopic of sampling is sampling distribution. We call it sample mean. What is sample mean? I already say that, right? Sample, there are many types. One population has many samples. Maybe you can get S1, S2, S3 have many samples. Until Sn also have many type of sample. From this sample, you can make the sampling distribution and you can find the sample mean. Mean of the sample, variance of the sample. So you will get for bar S. You will give you bar S1, bar S2, bar S3, and also bar S4. Bar S1, bar S2, bar S3, bar S4 means what? Means this is the first sample, second sample, third sample, and fourth sample you take from the population. Maybe, there are many population, and you can get and you can combine this you can make a one distribution. This you will learn in this chapter. Okay, this chapter and this chapter focus is you have to learn how to find the sampling distribution from the population, and you have to learn how to find the sample mean, the mean of the sample mean, and the variance of the sample mean. Also, you have to know. You bar S and S squared, you have to know. Okay, this is the second topic, and the third topic is sampling from normal distribution and any population. You already know that population, there is many type of population distribution, right? One population maybe it can maybe is normal distribution, it maybe is binomial distribution, it maybe is Poisson distribution, right? Also, in sampling distribution, we can take the information from the population to determine whether what it is the binomial, Poisson, or normal. Okay. In STP syllabus, we only learn two types. It is sampling from normal distribution. This means what? Is population we use as if let S is normally distributed. Then your sampling distribution must be normally distributed also, with mu and sigma and variance divided by sample size. This is the first situation you have to know. I repeat, if S is normally distributed with mean and variance, then the sample mean will also normally distributed with mu and sigma squared variance divided by sample size. This is the first situation. And the second situation is any population. It does not state that the question does not state that the population is normally distributed. If the question does not state that, you will use another theory is central limit theorem. You have to know this theorem. Central limit theorem is what? When n is very large. Normally, how we consider the n is very large? Normally is more than or equal to 30. If more than or equal to 30, then you can consider is very large. Then it is obey the central limit theorem. If obey the central limit theorem, then the sampling distribution is normally distributed also with mu with variance divided by n. Already like that. This is the concept you have to know. Although the question does not say that the population is normally distributed, but if the sample size is more than or equal to 30, then the sampling distribution will normally distributed with mean and variance divided by n. This is the two concepts you have to know it. Okay. Then the last topic for sampling is the sample proportion. Sample proportion, you have to know, before that, you have to know what is proportion. Actually, proportion, this word is come from the probability of success. Probability of success, you come from what? It's binomial, right? It is actually come from the binomial. So it is the probability to success. And we have two types also, right? It has population proportion and sample proportion. Population proportion is the, I already say that, is the huge proportion, and the sample proportion is you already take a sample, then the proportion of the sample is called as P cap. You have to use this formula. So in this proportion, you have to know also the mean. You have to find the mean and standard deviation of the sample proportion also. Okay, this is the fourth topic you have to know. So normally about the sampling topic is finished. So I make a conclusion. Sampling is the population. You take a sample from the population. So there are many kind of sample, maybe bar S1, bar S2, bar S3. And this sample, you can find its mean, variance, and also its distribution function. Maybe it's normally we will use normally distributed function. How the sample mean is normally distributed? We have to use these two conditions. When the population is normally distributed, then the sample mean also will normally distributed. If the size is more than or equal to 30 based on the central limit theorem, it's obey, then the sample mean also will normally distributed. And the second thing is proportion, also same with you have to find the mean and the standard deviation of the sample proportion. Okay, this is the chapter for first subtopic for the sampling, and the second topic is estimation. Estimation is the reverse of the sampling. Means what? Means you have the sample. Maybe you have the sample, but you have to estimate population. Interesting, right? Very interesting. I think it's very interesting. Means that you only have the information of the sample. You don't have the information for population, but you can modify your answer in your information in your sample. You can estimate the population. But why say the estimate? Because different sample have different value, include its mean, variance, also median, also whatever lah. Means and variance are different. So if you take from different sample, you will estimate population are different also. But we also can just estimate only. So we only just estimate. We cannot get the accurate data. So why we call estimation? So in the first topic, you have to learn that how to calculate the unbiased estimate for population mean, variance, and also proportion. What is the unbiased? You will see that. You see that is the term unbiased. This term is very important. You have to write this. In exam, if you want to find the population mean from the sample, you must write down this term, unbiased estimate. If you don't write, even though your answer is correct, you will get 0 marks because you don't write this. because it is very important. What is unbiased mean? Unbiased means that you only can means what? Bias. If you don't know unbiased, if you don't bias. Bias is mean that there is an error, right? There is an error, right? Unbiased mean that if you want to estimate the population, you have an error. It does not have error. Bias means that it is not unfair, right? Unfair has an error, right? Unbiased means that you say that this population mean is very fair, is correct, is not, don't have any error. So you have to think. Actually, if you estimate the population mean, it has the bias, right? It may have the bias. But you have to confirm that the population mean you estimate is unbiased. Means that there is no unfair condition, there is no error condition at all. So you have to write down the unbiased estimate, and you have to learn how to find the population mean, variance, and proportion from the sample, and it has its formula. All the formula you have to memorize it. And I say no formula were given in exam. You have to memorize all. Okay. The second topic is interval estimation. Interval estimation is that you have to estimate the interval of the population, because you know that if you want to estimate the population size, I will say different sample have different value, so we cannot get the actual data for population. Like the population data, maybe the actual data for population. So we will use interval estimation to list out the interval of the population. So maybe A and B. You will get from A to B. This means that the population data is maybe line from A and B. Maybe A is 10, then B is 15, then it will lie in between 10 and 15 only. You will only can estimate at this. You will not get the accurate population. Oh, accurate population is 12. No, you will not get this, because different sample will give different interval estimation. So we just get from one sample, but we can estimate what is the actual population from it. So this is the second topic you have to learn. So almost done for this topic. And interval estimation, why do you want to learn unbiased estimate for population mean, variance, and proportion? Because you have to use their value in the interval estimation. So to find the interval estimation, so you have to know that. So all about this chapter 4 are done. So in conclusion, this chapter I can say that is the most difficult chapter to you. And if you start learning this chapter, you may have many confused, and you maybe have any confusion between parameter and statistic. So you have to differentiate carefully between parameter and statistic, because if you don't differentiate this, later in estimation you will get wrong data. Because begin this chapter, almost the chapter is come out with application question, and it will not give you the symbol like that. It will not give you directly. It will just use the word, like it will give you the sample mean, population mean. It will give you like that. Sometimes also, even though sometimes it will not give you population mean, it will just give mean only, and you have to determine whether this mean is population or it is the sample. You have to know. If you misunderstanding or you reverse this, two answer, then automatically your final answer is automatically wrong, and the step you will not get marks also because you already misunderstanding the question. So misunderstanding the question. So you have to be careful for it. And another thing want to say that this chapter, I see past year, you can refer past year, I don't like you. Every year come in question A, section B. It will come in section B. If either question 7 or question 8, every year. You can see every year it will come out in question A and section B. So you have to make it careful. If you say that, oh, I don't want to do this, okay, you can do question 7. But if the question 7 you don't know, how do you want to do? Section B, takkanlah awak give it blank. And as you know, section no ulang, tak ada repeat. No repeat. So you have only one chance only. If you get good. If you fail, totally fail. Nobody will help you. And also this chapter has related to chapter 5, hypothesis testing. So if you don't learn this chapter, you give it blank, it automatically your chapter 5 also give it blank. Chapter 4 is the basic for the chapter 5. In chapter 5, you will use the formula and the concept from the chapter 4 also. Okay, so this is all about for chapter 4. Okay, chapter 5 is hypothesis testing. Also the new chapter you at all. Okay, hypothesis testing, this chapter, in my opinion, it is interesting chapter to me. This chapter is like I can say that macam awak ada tengok macam you are like a hakim and have two people make an argument, and you are the hakim to make the competition, to make the keputusan sama ada A yang betul atau B yang salah. Just like that. You can see like that. So before you enter this chapter, you have to learn intro about hypothesis testing. That is, you have to. This is the most important things in this chapter. No hypothesis and alternative hypothesis. No hypothesis we know as H0. Alternative hypothesis is H1. This is the most important things in this chapter. You have to know. In normally the first question of this chapter will give you this chapter also the application question. It will give application question at all, and you have to, from the question, you have to list out the H0 and H1. In SCP syllabus, we only have population mean and also population proportion, mu and pu only. If I give mu, H0 is always equal A. I think A, and H1 is always reject the A, reject H01. Maybe it can not equal to A, maybe it could more than A, maybe it will less than A, like that, based on the question given. So this means that there are two person. You can say that there are two person make an argument. The A person H0 say that the mean of the population is equal to A. It say like that. But H1B person say that, no, the mean of this population is not equal to A. Maybe A point something, or it is B, or it is more than A or less than A. So yeah, two person make an argument, and I say that you are the hakim. You have to find the confidence to prove that whether H0 is correct or H1 is wrong. You have to find the confidence. This is confident. in mathematics is the step. Calculation step you have to know. You don't know. You have to know. Then you will get the sufficient confidence to accept H0 or either H0 or either H1. So this is the first subtopic you have to know. You have to determine, have to write down how to write down H0 and H1 from the question. Okay, the second topic is you have to know that what is type 1 and type 2 error. In Stpm syllabus, we only learn type 1 error, that is alpha. Type 1 error is in alpha. Type 2 error is beta. We only learn type 1 only. Type 2 we have no learn in Stpm syllabus. It's type 1 and type 2 error, you have to know that the definition, then you will know why we just use type 1 error only. And another third topic you want to know is one-tier test and two-tier test. What is mean by one tier? What is mean by two tier? Which condition we have to use one tier? Which condition we have to use two tier? This one also you have to know. Okay, if you already know about this definition, all the definition, then you can proceed to the hypothesis testing. We have two tests. First test is test the population mean, and the second test is test the population proportion. Okay, test for the population mean, just like that. Mu H0 is mu equal to A, H1 is not equal to A or more than A or less than A based on the equation given. And you are the Hakim, you have to find the Hakim, you have to find the confidence. How to find the confidence? The teacher will teach you how to find. That is the step. You must, and I need to confirm, you must follow the steps. You cannot skip step or you cannot jump the step. Maybe the first step, I think the first step is want you to find the I think because I already forget. The first step is want to find the Z-score. I think like that. Z-score, and the second step is you want to use whether it is under critical value or not. And like this. Example like this. Maybe I have a mistake. Later you learn this chapter, your teacher will teach you one by one how do you find the confidence. You must follow the step. You cannot jump the step and also skip the step. So if the first step is want you to find the Z-score, you have to find the Z-score first. You cannot find the critical value first. If you skip the step, or not skip, if you jump the step, maybe you will make the examiner more confident and more confused. So better you do according to the step, and you will get full marks. This chapter is very easy. If you already learn menguasai step yang perlu, no, totally you will score this chapter. So the first thing is you already find the confidence, then you will get the conclusion. You need to make a conclusion. The conclusion only either two. The first conclusion is you reject H0. The second conclusion is you do not reject H0. Only these two conclusions. In conclusion, you only can write these two. You cannot write any others word. Like the do not reject H0 means that we accept H1. No, we cannot like that. You only has these two conclusions. Either reject H0 or either do not reject H0. Reject H0 means that you find the confidence that mu naught is totally not equal to A. So it can be many different value based on the H1. If you not reject H0 means that mu is memang dia equal to A. So we do not reject H0 based on the confidence you get. So this chapter, this is for population mean. Same method you apply in population proportion also. The first, so I make a conclusion. I make a conclusion. The first step in this chapter, you have to know that you have to list out H0 and H1. H0 normally 100% is equal sign, maybe proper E equal to A, and H1 has many situations, has 3 situations, either not equal, either more than, either less than, based on the question given. You have to know. The second thing is list out all the information stated in the question. Include mu, sample mean, variance, and also alpha value. You have to know. And also, if have S squared sample variance, also you have to state it. And also sample size N. So you have to know. So that is why I need to differentiate between population and sample, because in this chapter you have to differentiate from the question. You have to differentiate who is the sample mean, who is the population mean, who is the sample mean, also who is the sample variance, who is the population variance. So if you misunderstanding or make a mistake between these two, maybe the question given mu is equal to 5 and the sample mean is 5.1 something like that. It is very near punya. It is very near. The value is very near. Actually, the answer is like this, but you make a reversible. You make this is sample mean, this is the population mean. Automatically, if you these two value you make a mistake, then automatically your step also will get a mistake, and finally you will not get the correct answer. You will lose mark at where? You will lose mark at here. H0 and H1 you already lose mark. Step maybe you will have some marks only, not too much. And also final, your conclusion. If your conclusion is luckily or match with the correct answer, maybe the correct answer is do not reject, and you also get the conclusion do not reject. Okay, your conclusion you will get mark, but another conclusion you will not get marks. There are two kind of conclusion. The first conclusion is you either do not reject H0 or do not reject H0. The second conclusion is you have to make a conclusion based on the question given. But the second conclusion you will not get marked because you already misunderstanding the mu and bar as value. So you have to know. So my conclusion is the most important is you have to your first step and the second step must correct. If your first step and second step already wrong, then the following step you also will get wrong answer. So this is my opinion for this chapter. So this chapter is not too hard. Just the harder part is how do you find the information from the question. If you already find all correct information from the question, then it is easier to do. Okay, this is the chapter 5, hypothesis testing. Okay, the next chapter is chapter 6, chi-square test, also the new topic to you. Chi-square test. What is this? First, you have to know what is the chi-square distribution. Chi-square test we normally use this chi-square. It is not x. It is chi-square value. We normally like this. This is ada lengkong-lengkong sikit punya, bukan straight punya, bukan x straight punya, dia ada lengkong-lengkong sikit punya, dia ada square di sini. So this is a chi-square. You will learn about the chi-square distribution. So if distribution, you will have the chi-square distribution table. This you also don't worry. During exam, the MPM will give you the chi-square distribution table. So in this first chapter, you have to know that how do you find the chi-square distribution from the table. Okay. The second thing is the second topic and third topic is this chapter paling penting lah, chapter yang paling penting ialah goodness of fit test. Goodness of fit test, what is this? It is the test, one test that whether the data you get, data you observe is fixed or not, fixed with the distribution or not. You need to know. So in distribution, we have binomial, we have Poisson, we have also normal, and also there are any distribution, others distribution also will come out with this. So in this chapter, you will have two kinds of data. One data is data you observe. You make an experiment, you observe that data is like this, and another data is expected data. Expected data is actually you want to get this kind of data. Expected data, how do you get it? There are the one formula you can calculate the expected data. There are the one formula. There are the formula you can calculate the expected data. And data observed is the data already give you in the question. It already give you in the question, so you don't need to calculate. And you already so you have to know that the data is fixed with the binomial distribution, Poisson, normal, or any distribution. Yes. So in this chapter, you also will have first thing you have to do is H0 and H1. You also have this. H0 is fixed. Yes, it is fixed with the distribution. H0 is not fixed. So the second thing is list out all the information, same as the list out all the information that you will get. And third step is you find the confidence. How do you find the confidence? There is the step also in later your teacher will teach you. But the confidence, the step of the finding confidence is same, almost same like chapter 5, but there is different. That is also slightly different, but almost same with the chapter 5 also. So your teacher will teach you how do you find the confidence. And second, last part is make a conclusion. Conclusion only have two, same as the chapter 5. Either you reject H0 or do not reject H0 only. So this is the goodness of fit test, like that. Okay, so that's like that only. So if you already handle chapter 5, chapter 6, maybe it's not difficult to do. Maybe not difficult to do because it's similar, mostly similar like chapter 5. So this is the second subtopic, and the third subtopic is test of independence. Independence, you know that independent. What is the independent terms definition? What is independent mean? Independent is that if I say that A is independent to B. To B means what? Means that A and B has no interval to each other, right? A is A, B is B. They don't affect each other. But if I say that A is not independent to B, means that A and B have relationship. If A has changed, B also has changed. So in this test, we can use chi-square test to test the independence of two situations. There are many kinds of situations based on the question given. Maybe the situation A is gender, and if this is a marriage, then gender we have two gun, male and female. Now marriage we have three conditions. Maybe have already married, single, or divorce, like this. The test will give you want to test that is the gender and marriage independent or not. So the steps are the same. If the first step you have to give the H0. H naught is independent. Yes, they are independent. They are independent to each other. Gender and marriage are independent. But H1 say that not independent. They are not independent. Then the second step also list out all the information you get from the question. Then third step is find the confidence. How do you find the confidence? Later your teacher will teach you. The last step is conclusion. Just like that. Like that. All are the same with the goodness of confidence, but the steps are different lah. The step to finding the confidence are different, but the step to solve this question is same with goodness of fit test and also hypothesis testing. Only this 4 step. If you already handle this 4 step, congratulations, you already handle this chapter and also chapter 5. So I can say that chapter 5 and 6 are not difficult, and also chapter 6 is, I can say that it is the most easiest topic chapter in Sem 3. Man, it is very easy. Because this chapter you only want to use one equipment saja. That is calculator. If you have calculator, then you can handle this chapter. Because this chapter almost want to use calculator to calculate the value. Okay, and this chapter, the marks are very high. Normally will give range between 9 until 11. If you refer past year, almost like that. 9 marks between 11 marks. Question number 6. 9 marks in 11 marks. And mostly people can get full marks with this question because it is very easy. I am not lying you. If you already learn this chapter, you will know what I say. Why I mean that this chapter is very easy. It is more easier to chapter 1. I can say that like that. Chapter 1, although it is easy, but the question may be complicated. But this chapter, whatever is complicated, if you already handle how to find the information, then you can do it well as the question and get the full marks in this question. So this chapter already done. So I can say that this video is almost done and almost finished. So thank you for watching my video, and this is my first video that I am using English. So if my English is not very well, maybe some broken English, I say sorry to you. And if the information of this syllabus have some mistake, and I am so sorry to you also, because this is the information for my experience also. So thanks for watching. Thank you.